Popcorn World. Popcorn World.
Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this movement up back in my can. You can make it round the world when the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. That's that popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. It's a popcorn world. The popcorn world.
You're now listening to the Brothers of the Five. At shooting guard, it's your boy, Killer Cam. At small forward, it's Reggie Love. At point guard, C Major. At power forward, Al B. And at center, Mr. Noise, Lloyd Spence. And now, the Brothers of the Five.
Man, we haven't done it this way in a minute. I got to tell you, it's a little weird, but it's cool. We up in here live tonight, and that's mainly because we wanted to make sure that we did some things in real time. We got to, because this college football playoff is tomorrow, and we just got a lot to talk about. So we decided to do it live tonight here on Sunday night. All of the games except for one in the NFL season has been played. There is one NFL playoff spot left. We'll find out who's going to get that tonight. It's either going to go to Green Bay or it's going to go to Seattle. We'll find out tonight. But we'll get to all that here in a minute. First, let me welcome my brothers of the Five to the program. Reggie Love, C Major in the building. What's going on, man? How y'all feeling?
Man, I'm straight, man. Good, and terrible.
You're not straight. You're not straight at all. You know why? Because your stinking Cowboys stunk up the place.
I said good and terrible. Yeah. We'll get into that.
We'll get into that in a minute. Reggie, how you feeling tonight, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm just here being a fan of football, a fan of the football game, brother. That's all I can be. I'm just a fan right now. I don't have nobody to cheer for. So
you gotta say it like that, Reggie.
I'm just a
the
fan.
Boys put up a fight again today. They put up a fight.
You say
they at least put up a fight.
Yeah, better than what we did.
Hey, y'all knows my screen froze.
I did notice that, Reggie.
Yeah.
I did actually notice that. I did notice that. Listen, we got to get into all of that, man. But before we do, we all week long I've had to talk about Damar Hamlin in a very tense and kind of heightened way. Tonight, on our question one, I get to talk about Damar Hamlin tonight with my brothers in a very positive way. Monday when we left on the Five, or we entered the new year. We entered the new year in the worst possible way we could have, with a horrific situation on the football field, Monday Night Football, with Damar Hamlin literally having a cardiac arrest on the field, having to be revived, they say twice, and then a third time in the ambulance. And I don't know if people understand what that means when they say you have to be revived. That means he was clinically dead 3 times. And God saw fit to let him come back. And so we started the week in the tragedy. We're ending the week in the triumph. I followed him on Twitter, and he's been tweeting all day, man, talking about the game and all of the things that was going on. And it was an amazing situation. But it did bring me to this question: where do you guys think the league goes from here, man? Because a lot of things. And first of all, shout out again to that medical team. Wow. All I can say is wow. Just an unbelievable performance by those guys, preparation by both squads, Cincinnati and Buffalo. But it definitely brings an interesting set of circumstances now. So I throw it out to you guys. Where do you think the league goes from here? Is this going to change the league? Does it change the game in your mind? What are your thoughts about what we saw?
Well, first, I'm going to say, man, like you said, shout out to the first responders, the training staff from Buffalo, Cincinnati. But very interesting. I did not know this. I saw a quick short thing on ESPN in which an hour before the game, the medical staffs, it's a meeting that goes on an hour before the game, along with the referee that plays over things like this. The communications, there are certain codes, there are certain responses. Shout out to the NFL. Shout out, the first responders. Shout out to the NFL. Shout out to the because there's a medical team in place. People don't realize there is a medical. I did not know this. I'm being ignorant to it, but I don't know how much it goes into this. And it's like they practice, they prepare, they're on the spot. And of course, you never want an incident to happen, but shout out to them for being prepared for a situation like this. Shout out to them. Brother, God is good, brother. Shout out,
brother. You get my round of applause for that for sure. And let me just tell you, because we had earlier the day after the event, obviously we had Danny Coble, my boy, who was an athletic trainer for years, and he talked about that. He said, "Listen, him having his life saved by that staff is not accidental. It is." He said, "This is what we have trained for. Everybody trains for it, and they have that meeting. It's called He called it something. He called the medical checkup or medical.
It's something.
That. Yeah. But he said they get together, they coordinate all the way down to who's going to drive the ambulance, where it's going to be, and having the route and having the police officers there to lead them to the. I mean, it's all well coordinated, and for it to go off without a hitch. Yeah. It saved this guy's life. And I mean, it's really, I don't think that's getting enough, Reggie. I'm like you. I don't think that's getting enough respect. Like that is really something amazing. God did that, bro. God did that one, bro. For real.
Yeah, definitely up, man. Definitely piggybacking sentiments that you guys have said. Definitely appreciating definitely the whole team that was able to carry that out. That was definitely something that we very much appreciate. And I know Sarah, DeMar definitely appreciates that as well. And also shout out to Danny, man, because we were on the phone and he kind of broke a lot of stuff down to us that kind of made sense after the fact. So I appreciate Danny doing that as well. But the thing is, I just read that they have DeMar at 4 years, $3.64 million. Now the NFL has agreed to guarantee that in full.
Right, which is a great move.
Good. A great move.
Yeah, but
we're not talking about the after effects if they didn't do that. A lot of things, as far as since he's I think second or third year player, a lot of those players are not vested yet. You have to be 4 or 5 years in to be vested in the pension, which if they didn't do that, he would have been up the wazoo and medical bills and different things like that. A lot of people but a lot of players in the past, still aren't vested and, still have to do medical bills and like that. So that I feel like the NFL needs to take a look at and how they're vesting their players, and also looking into guaranteed contracts, because it is a violent sport and a lot of the ex-players are being, having these high medical bills and these contracts are not guaranteed other than like the NBAs and baseball. So I think they need to review that part. But as far as, the medical teams and everything, how the Bengals and the Bills handled the situation, I definitely commend those organizations and how they handled it, and definitely want to give DeMar well wishes of speedy recovery. But I think those two issues would probably need to be something that the CBA looks at. But,
Yeah.
I mean, guaranteed contracts for that violent of a sport, that has to be definitely looked at in the future.
Chad, you make a phenomenal point right there. And I think at minimum, the one thing that they can all agree on, or at least they should be in the next CBA, is that there should be guaranteed medical coverage for everybody.
Right.
No player should be out there on that football field playing this violent game and not be 1,000% covered in everything medically that they're doing. That should not be.
They are, aren't they? If I'm not mistaken, they are while they're playing the game. If I'm not mistaken, it's. Of course, if you look at it, if you're working for a certain company, you're covered. If you pay into your insurance or whatever, you're covered. You might have a high deductible, just depending on what plan you got. I would say the NFL has the medical expenses covered. There's no ifs and buts about that. I don't believe that wouldn't happen.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the structure, but I know as far as the pension part of it.
Well, all of it. I think all of it.
They have you have to be a certain amount of years for a pension plan. But guys, one aspect of it, when you're talking about pension and medical insurance and things like that, you have to look at it. It's just like your job. It's just like your job. We all are, medically covered and things like that. So I believe it's all there. I think we're trying
but see, Reggie, here's where I would just I'm agreeing and slightly disagreeing at the same time. It's not like my job. I don't fear anything at my job. I don't. I'm just being honest.
What do you mean you don't fear? Excuse me, help me out.
What I mean is I'm not gonna have, like, we're doing this podcast right now, and I don't fear that somebody's gonna run in and hurt me beyond my ability to function anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm talking about medically covered. I'm saying, Cam, you work your corporation. Corporations, we have medical insurance in place. Of course, we pay into our medical insurance, but they pay a certain portion. We pay a certain. It just depends on what plan you may have, a high deductible, low deductible, whatever it is. But from what I'm understanding, and I'll double check and verify with some people in the NFL, I believe everybody's fully covered while you're playing. That would be the CBA would never let that happen.
Well, I'd like to know definitively that he's covered on his medical stuff, but I'd also like to know that he's covered.
I bet $1 million. I ain't gonna say I ain't got $1 million, but
Hold on.
He's fully covered. He is fully covered.
But I think also, even in their first year, that there should be a provision, and you can, going forward, you can call it the Damar Hamlin provision, that if something like this were to happen, something life-threatening happens, that automatically it flips over to where your salary is guaranteed.
Well,
it's no longer in question anymore.
But here's the thing. This is just my opinion. I think we're making something up out there, but we don't know what's all in place right now. You see where I'm coming from? We don't know.
But no, we do know that this wasn't in place because they said they had to go and vote on it. They had to go vote on it today. Now, they did the right thing, so it's not a knock on the NFL, but I'm saying going forward, let's just go ahead and make that the standard.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
That's all I was saying.
Oh, I thought we were talking. I'm talking about well, okay, we switched from salary to medical now. We're going two different places here.
No, I'm saying all of it. Let's make, because I don't know about I honestly don't know about the medical part.
Okay,
I'm like you, Reggie. I'm assuming surely they're all like 100% covered, no questions asked, But everything needs to be one. My point was, I may have said it wrong. Okay. Everything needs to be 100% covered in this particular case. Like if something like this were to happen, it shouldn't have to come to a vote. there should be a clause in place that kicks in immediately and says, "Oh, now you're under the DeMar Hamlin clause, where you automatically get everything and no question that." Because we're talking about a 6th round guy. Now, I know you're gonna say, "Well, what if this was a guy who's a 1st round pick and he's making $30 million?" Shouldn't matter. Whatever it is this guy is supposed to get, he should be able to get. Because here's the reality. Nobody knows what DeMar Hamlin's future is. And by the way, not trying to be a Debbie Downer or whatever, but here's also the reality. As of 6:52 tonight, he is still listed in critical condition. So though he's watching TV and he's tweeting this, that, and the other, technically, by medical terminology, he is still listed in critical condition, meaning that his doctors have not cleared him and he is not fully out of the woods yet. So we don't know. You know what I'm saying? So the worst thing you can do is stack a tragedy on top of tragedy, right? So now something happens to this guy. Now his family is not, you know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't want to see it go from super bad to super worse. That's my point. That was my point.
know, and here's my thing on all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so thankful, and I see the power of prayer.
Yeah, man.
So much. And that's why I'm trying to, anything negative thought, anything that comes from anybody negative, I'm not trying to hear it right now. Not saying y'all
right. Same here. Same here.
I'm just so amazed how the power of prayer, how everybody can be going so negative here and so negative here. And this incident brought everybody together. Everybody on the knee. Everybody saying, "All right, God, this is in your hand. We're praying to you, God." And you see how things are working. You see, all right, this is ended. 2022 looks bad. And all of a sudden, God said, "You know what? I'm in the midst of this darn thing." And the prayer works.
That was, listen.
And all this other stuff that people are falling into, what Skip says, don't give that no attention. Let's see how good things are going. Leave all that. If anybody got something negative to say, don't even feed into it. Don't feed.
Skip Bayless's, the Bart Scott, all that's gone. Yeah.
Let's go. We feeding on what's happening that is positive. And that's my goal. That's my saying. 2023, we're going to keep this thing positive.
We're going to keep it positive.
Hey, Reggie, where's the collection plate, Reggie? Where's the collection plate?
Listen, I was ready to give you money. I was ready to give you bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Man, preaching over there, man.
Killer Cam just pulled up in the building as well. What's up, Killer Cam? How you feeling, baby?
I'm good. What's
Happy
going
New
on?
Year,
What's up, man? What's up, boy?
Happy New Year,
man.
Happy New Year.
Coming here smiling from ear to ear. He must be in a good place.
Very good play.
That's good, bro. That's good. That's
Awesome.
good. You got any thoughts before we move on? You got any thoughts on the aftermath? We don't have to. I don't think we have to spend as much time on what happened as much as what's happening.
No. I agree with everything Reggie was talking about. No,
Yeah,
we're good.
yeah.
Everything y'all
Shout
talking
out to
about.
also to the NFL. I love the red around the 3 today. I love some of the games opened up with people praying on the 50-yard line. Man, all of that was just exactly what was needed for a nation that got shocked, man, got rattled. But like you said, Reggie, we found light in darkness, and that was really cool. And the last time I looked at the GoFundMe, it was up to 8 million. So I mean, it's just been a good thing all the way around, man. So now let me ask you this question. The other side of this is some things happen where the NFL had to make some adjustments on the fly. And one of the things that happened is that particular game, Week 17 game between the Bengals and the Bills, was canceled. So today, the final game of the season, Bills won. They took the second seed. The Bengals won, but it didn't matter. So they took the third seed, which means that one of those two teams, if they were to enter into the AFC Championship game, they would get the right to play at a neutral site. The other thing that happened as a result of this game is that the Bengals, even though they won, they avoided the coin flip. Now here's irony for you. Y'all want to see irony at its finest? Here's irony at its finest. The Bengals had to beat the Ravens to avoid a coin flip so that they would get home field advantage. And what was their reward for doing that? Having to play the Bengals first round in the playoffs. So I mean, having to play the Ravens first round in the playoffs. So my question to you guys is: did the NFL get the playoff adjustments right in order to get all this stuff? Because there were some people kind of complaining like this was the coin flip wasn't fair and this, that, and the other. I personally thought it was fine. I think everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out. But what do y'all think?
I think it was good because they're not in this situation all the time. You know what I mean? This is like a once in a whatever. So anything that they would have did to put it together, nobody got a clear advantage of nothing like that or anything. If you feel like you did, you should have been winning games before then, more games than what you had then. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, I think we did. I think the NFL got it right. I don't think there's no issues going on with it.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm in the same knowledge as Cam. I think they got it right because you couldn't really figure out how to play a game or try to get a game in, so you had to figure out another resolution. So, I mean, if another team is hurt about it, then go out and win your game you're supposed to win. So,
yeah, I
don't see any problem with it.
All right, Reg, what about you, brother?
Man, I'm in 100% agreement. Like I said, I don't see an issue with it. I mean, man, I must say, as much as we get on to the NFL, they're getting it right this time. They
got this one 100% right all the way across the board. I got to give props for that one. So that's good. All right. So then that means we're moving to question number 3. We'll come back to NFL playoffs here in just a minute. But we got to talk about what happened last weekend while we were off. A college football semifinal was played. Now, to be fair, they have sucked since they've been in existence. They have been terrible games since they've been in existence. But not last weekend. My God, those games were good.
Yeah,
and man, it came down to the wire on both of those games. What were your thoughts about those games? And then what are your thoughts about tomorrow night? Georgia and TCU will tee off tomorrow night for the national championship. Who you got winning? Let's just go around the room, man. What were your thoughts about the games last week?
I'm gonna let Chad speak last. First of all, I'm gonna give Chad a shout out. Can I before we start? I know it's probably
give him a shout out, man.
I'm gonna give him a shout out because Chad had this sweatshirt on.
Yep.
And I told my wife I loved it, and she shocked me and got it for me for Christmas. So Chad, I appreciate that, man. So
no problem, man. No problem. Looks good on you, man. Looks good.
Thank you, man. Thank you. But when I talk last week, here's the thing. I'm going to ask you guys this opinion. We talk about momentum, and we talk about how the game is played. Do you feel taking that much time off when you got momentum going can hurt you, or but both teams have the same amount of time off? So, did Michigan and Georgia look like the same Michigan and Georgia 2 or 3 weeks ago before they played?
That's a great question, man. That's a great question.
Or did the other teams just show up to play? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not discounting either side.
I think there's something about the feeling of disrespect that motivates teams sometimes to play above themselves, especially when they really have nothing to lose. TCU had 0 to lose because nobody thought they were going to win anyway, right? In a national picture. I watched College Game Day, and every single one of those guys picked Michigan, and a couple of them picked Michigan in a rout. So TCU was like, okay, what do we got to lose, right? If we get blown out, didn't matter because we're supposed to get blown out according to everybody anyway. So they could play loose and free, and they did. They really did. As far as Georgia's concerned, I don't know, man. I'm not sure what happened in that game. Other than maybe CJ Stroud is a lot better than we thought he was, because he shredded them, bro. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Georgia didn't deserve to win that game. That's my opinion. They didn't deserve it. They won it, but they didn't deserve to win it. Ohio State should have won that game. So if that kicker had any kind of skill, they'd have won that game. They should have won that game. So I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know if it was so much Ohio State. Georgia and Michigan didn't play up to their potential as much as Ohio State and TCU showed up to play. They were like, we ain't no Rudies. We good. We got skill too. We got NFL players too.
Well,
So,
I'm not necessarily saying potential. I'm saying momentum. How you clicking? Because sometimes I'm not saying that. Now, I'm not making an excuse for either team. I'm just throwing it out there. I love throwing stuff out there. Y'all know me. I throw it out there.
Yeah.
But wouldn't they all have momentum at this point when they got there? They would all have.
No, I know what he's saying because technically Ohio State and TCU lost their championship game, so they didn't have any momentum. But what they had was motivation, and sometimes motivation is just as good as momentum.
From that standpoint, yeah.
Because I'm going to go back. If you think about it, we're going back to the NFL. How teams are playing this week, will it affect how they play next week?
Oh, I got some answers for that, but we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, I definitely got some answers for that.
I'm just throwing it out there, guys.
I definitely got some answers for that. Cam, what you think? What were your thoughts about both the games? That's a great question, Reggie.
Well, I thought the national championship was played already between Georgia and Ohio State. I felt like they got the seedings wrong. I'll tell you why. Because I think once you get the 4 teams that's going to be in there, I think you should seat them 1 through 4 of the 4 best teams in the country. I just didn't feel like TCU should have been ranked higher than Ohio State, period. Because the best team on paper, Ohio State was better on paper than TCU was, hands down. I understand TCU got like 5 wins over top 25 opponents this year.
Right.
But 3 of those teams didn't even finish in the top 25. You know, with OU being one of them, with Kansas being one of them. So like once you get the teams in there, I think you should rate them. I think you should rank them 1 through 4 according to what's the best teams that's in there. So
you saying in your opinion, TCU Georgia would have went a whole different way?
I think it would have went a different way. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Ohio State, Michigan might have been very interesting.
Ohio State, Michigan might have been different. Yeah,
that's been very interesting. But
that's
the 2 best teams.
That's an interesting point.
That's just my opinion. You said that Georgia didn't. You said Ohio State didn't deserve to win. I think maybe. I don't think either team, the way they played, I think it was a toss-up because they both had weaknesses, especially on the defensive side. Something we ain't seen from now one of those teams in the last 7 years. You know, so
right.
I think it just became a shootout. Same thing with Michigan and TCU. Like you said, these games have really relatively been boring as far as blowouts or whatever it is. But so just the battle, the back and forth. You know, I enjoyed it. I really did. Of course, you know, I had Ohio State winning it all this year. I had C.J. Stroud winning the Heisman. So all that changed, you know, right off the drop of a dime. You talk about the Georgia team that ain't lost in 2 years. Like that's, you know, they find a way or whatever. Shouts out to TCU for what they did to Michigan. At the end of the day, I think everybody on this panel right now could question some of the calls that Michigan was running. Like, what are you doing? Like,
it got weird.
You're trying to be cute. Too cute.
And Chad, because of that, is the only reason I ain't finna give you hell today. Because I don't know what Harbaugh was doing.
I don't know either.
Unless he was trying to put his way back
in, trying to go to the
Panthers. You know what I mean? So
right. He was putting his PowerPoint presentation together for the Panthers job.
He's putting something together for the Indy job where he was quarterback. That's what he's doing. Okay, so, but yeah, I like the games. And in my opinion, I mean, I don't want to be ugly, man. I got a lot of friends, man. I'm gonna say 48-14 or something like that. I think Georgia's gonna blow the brakes off of TCU.
Really? So you don't believe it all?
Well, I do believe, but I think people don't believe in Georgia because of how they played.
Okay, 48-14 now.
And Cam, it goes back to what you just said, though, Cam, and how they played. But part of me thinks, okay, how long was it from the last game to the bowl game? Was it 3 weeks?
About 3 weeks. Yeah.
So you're talking about 3 weeks.
Got a lot of time to prepare, man. Got a lot of time.
Well, no.
They can play against you.
They can play. Thank you, Cam. That's what I'm saying. Because in those 3 weeks, you're not hitting like you should be in practice. You're not doing the things that you prepare from week to week that happens in the game. It's just like a playoff. Just imagine if the Golden State, and you can tell in the NBA, matter of fact, you can see it in the NBA. If a team, all right, they don't play for a week or two, and how that first and second quarter goes with them shooting the ball.
Yeah.
Because you're shooting the ball in practice in a regular gym, and then you go into a stadium and your depth perception is off because you've been shooting in the practice facility for a while, or the conditioning, it's
timing issues, all that. Yeah,
so it's a lot of things that goes into it, even on the football side. So I'm not making excuses for no one, but I'm just saying that's a 3-week layoff. Did we truly get the real Michigan or the real TCU or the real Georgia or even the real Ohio State?
Who you got tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, who I got?
Yeah,
I got, because Georgia hit last week. I got Georgia this week. And to be honest with you, my heart would love. I'm in the DFW area. You love the underdog.
Right.
But brother, I'm from Arkansas. I've been in the SEC, and the SEC is a different animal, brother. And I'm calling them Georgia Bulldogs. They got grown men. Would I love an upset? Yes. But my heart and my mind said, well, you better take Georgia on that game.
Yeah. All right, Chad, what you doing? What you doing there?
No, I mean, Cam said it, man. Harbaugh and his crew, they was trying to be too cute at times, and it just didn't work. And TCU got the best of us. So I mean, when I lost, I still won because I'm still.
Did y'all underestimate TCU, Chad? In your opinion, because you're a Michigan guy.
I mean, I've seen TCU play a couple of times, and they've a good second half team, and they've come back against a lot of teams. So I didn't underestimate them, but I think probably Michigan did. They thought probably they're going to blow them out, and it wasn't a good game plan that they did. So,
but isn't it hard to convince 19, 20, 21-year-olds that somebody, when you watch them on film, is supposed to be on the same field as you? Because sometimes when you're good, you look at another team and you say, well, we're Michigan. They just TCU. They ain't nobody. And that's just being young, right?
You could overlook, but you still have to respect who's in front of you. So you still have to respect what the players over at TCU. And, Max Duggan was a Heisman finalist. So, I mean, you got to respect it.
Let me ask you this question, though, Chad. You made a point. You said that TCU is a second half team. Technically, Michigan won the second half.
Yeah, they played good in the second half too.
They just got behind too far in the first half that you couldn't overcome that second half. That's just my opinion, because they were down how many in the second half at the start? Yeah,
they were down a lot, and then we got it to 3, and then the guy missed that tackle, and I mean at that point the game was over. So
yeah, they were down 21-6, and then they were able to come on back.
Well, now, so what did TCU? What was the final score?
51-45, which is crazy to think about, but it was.
Yeah, it's just that we had to fight so long to try to get back, and then it just wouldn't. I mean,
so who you got tomorrow night, sir?
I mean, my heart want to say TCU, but my head and my money's saying Georgia.
He said his head and his money.
Head and money,
but the head and money. I mean, it just depends on if TCU's defense shows up. I think their offense will show up. Their defense shows up to slow down Georgia. But I mean, I have to go Georgia. But no, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think Georgia.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make it, which is probably means TCU's gonna win. But I'm gonna make it to try a quad factor, because on paper, I don't see a path for TCU to beat Georgia. And Georgia's got everything, and they got a quarterback who's been there and done that. He's literally right now the Tom Brady of college football. Like and by the way, for as bad as he played in that first half, he was throwing dimes in that second half. Like he was. I mean, you got to give him the credit, man. He balled out in that second half. So, again, I agree with all of you. I want TCU to win. I will boldly say I want TCU to win. Georgia's probably going to win. Now, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think that. I think TCU's got more fight than people think they have. But I think they will probably win by like a couple of touchdowns though, because Georgia gonna wear you out. Georgia gonna wear you out, man.
Yeah.
You can only fight for so long against somebody, and then when they're bigger and stronger, if you don't knock them out early, they're gonna probably knock you out.
Facts.
So
Shout out to Marvin Harrison Jr., man. He's gonna make a lot of money on Sunday.
oh my God, he's so good. If Eden finished that game, I think Ohio State would have won. I think Ohio State would have won. So, all right. This is an interesting one. I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of the more interesting questions we have of the night. So I guess this was Thursday night. Just real flippantly, as he does all the time, Charles Barkley says, you know, some of these NBA squads right now need to just blow the whole thing up. And I was like, blow it up? Like, right? And I think everybody on the set had the same reaction, like, blow it up. Like, we in January. You talk about blowing it up. So he started listing off teams, and everybody was kind of shocked by the statement. So it got me to thinking, is he right? Like, are there some teams right now that this early in the game, is early in the season, like we are almost at the halfway point, but do they need to blow it up? Like, I don't know. So I'm throwing it out to y'all. What do y'all think? And then if that's the case, are these where the trades can happen? Like, are these the conversations that need to happen? Because these teams do need to blow it out. Like, I'll throw out some names. As even though Atlanta is in the 10th spot right now, is that experiment over? Because all you hear is about the coach is they ain't getting along with the coach. Trae Young don't really like your boy no more. The honeymoon is over. People talking about John Collins is. So I'm just asking. I'm throwing out Atlanta first. What do y'all think? Or do you have another team that should blow it up?
Great job, Spurs. Great job. Blow it up and take the draft picks. Great job. Blow it up and take the draft picks.
I mean, the draft picks are on the way no matter what. So,
Hey, how many did we get from Atlanta? Didn't we get 3 good ones from Atlanta?
I think it was 3. Yeah, I think it was 3 good ones.
3
Yeah,
first rounders.
yeah.
Blow that thing up and start this thing right back over. Hey, Charles just said what the Spurs did.
So y'all agree Atlanta should just go on and sell everything off and get whatever they can get?
I don't know. To me, it's early. It's still early.
They don't win.
I don't think Atlanta should, but I think Chicago should definitely do something.
They're in a nice spot.
Still,
They just beat Memphis like a week or two ago.
I think Chicago should too, just because of what you're hearing. Just because of what you're hearing coming out of the Rosen camp, what you're hearing coming out of the Bean camp, injuries, banged up. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Will we be talking about this if they didn't have the injuries?
I mean,
I don't know because what the Rosen and Levine coming out of their camp has nothing to do with injuries.
Can I ask y'all a question? Aren't Zach LaVine and DeRozan
the same player
without the dunking? I mean, take the dunking out of it. But don't they essentially kind of do the same thing? Like
they're like that Spider-Man meme with pointing back at each other. Yeah,
right.
Levine shoot Trey ball though.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: every team needs a facilitator, and somebody to do the dirty work. The facilitator for Chicago is out.
He's out. Yeah,
he's out. He's been out the whole year.
Yeah. And that matters because they're not the same team without him. They are not the same team without him.
Yeah.
So do you wait until when is he supposed to come back? Has anybody heard anything?
Then go trade for another facilitator until he gets back.
Well, Kemba Walker's on the market.
Hey brother, stop it. You need to stop.
I'm just saying he's available until stop.
I don't There's somebody else out there.
I mean, I'm
I
not.
apologize. First of all, I apologize, y'all, for saying Kemba Walker's name. I
I
apologize.
did not.
I didn't realize
He
this
was not a facilitator. You know he's not. He started stuff. You're not. We're not going. Don't
flustered
follow
everybody
through
on
with
that.
that. Don't
He
follow
flustered
through
me.
with that.
Y'all
Yeah,
took the
flustered
bait. Y'all
me.
took the bait. It's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late. Y'all took the
Don't
bait.
follow through.
I'm surprised you didn't say Rajon Rondo or somebody.
What about Charlotte?
It seems to me they have all the young athletic pieces, but we've always felt like they need some sort of veteran to bring that team together. They're so talented on paper, but they just something's wrong there. I don't know what it is.
Go ahead, Cam. Go ahead, because you probably gonna say what I'm thinking. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, because you probably
No. I'm listening.
I am shocked by Charlotte. To me, Charlotte might be the most shocking team of all these teams. Because think about how good they were last year. They were killing it last year. How did they go from? Because it's the same team. They didn't do nothing different. It's the exact same team.
Yeah.
And now they don't look anything. And by the way, and I'll be the first to say it. I haven't heard a lot of people say it because we're talking NFL, and I get it. But LaMelo has not taken a step forward. He has not. He does not look better. And people have caught up with his game.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know, man.
Could it be the injuries?
It may be, but bro, you're 17 and a half games back in January. Last year, you I think they either made the playoff or they were circling around the playoffs.
Yeah.
How did you go? How did you drop that fast? Like, I don't understand it. Charlotte, to me, is an enigma. I don't get it. I do not get it.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if the other teams just got better. I'm just trying to. I don't know.
That much better, but why didn't they get better? That's the part that I'm trying to understand.
Because you said it was the same team, right? They didn't really.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, Reggie talks about this all the time. Continuity matters. If you got the same team and the same coach and the same system, you should be able to flourish in that system as more time is gained in that system.
But it's a young team.
They look worse.
It's a young team, so they're gonna be inconsistent.
But how long do you lean on that? Okay, so is Utah. Utah's a young team, and they ain't been in that system but an hour and a half.
Oklahoma.
Now Utah has kind of regressed some, but they look better.
Yeah.
Oklahoma is a young team, and they look okay
With 1,000 draft picks.
with 1,000 draft picks to come. So I don't know. Now, I'm just saying I don't understand how Charlotte fell apart this fast. That's my nominee for blow it up. So,
Yeah.
Cam, Reggie, what y'all thinking? Well, you said Bulls, so
I mean, just to me, whatever team is thinking that they should be in the championship ring this year and they're in the 11th, 12th seed and they're paying a lot of money, then maybe that's a thought. But other than that, I mean, if you got a young team, you can't blow a young team up because you got to let them continue to grow a little bit.
well, Reggie, to
Like
your
a-
point,
Oh,
your
I said,
point,
what about
Reggie. Hold on one second. To your point, Reggie, the 11 and 12 in the East is the Washington Wizards and the Raptors, and the 11 and 12 in the West is the Timberwolves and the Lakers. Now go.
And
No, I was just saying Toronto. Yeah, Toronto and Miami. Those would be good candidates to blow it up at this point.
Chuck chose Miami. He said, Miami, you need to blow that thing up. It ain't working.
I mean, did he put Minnesota in there? But the problem is with Minnesota, you gave up so much.
Oh, man, you can't blow that up.
Yeah,
You gotta ride it out.
we still don't know. We still don't know to today what Minnesota was doing anyway. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Good point.
Right. I
Unless
Go
you
Bears,
trade
not
Carl
really.
Anthony Town and get all them draft picks back, that's the only
good.
way.
Yeah.
You could do that though.
I know a team
You could do
that would take them too.
And guess what? I think by trading that Karl Anthony Towns out, you could free up Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell and put Rudy Gobert back into his real responsibility. And maybe you make your team a lot better. Karl Anthony Towns is not work. He's not a superstar to carry your team. He's a great complementary piece to add to somebody's team.
Yeah.
He would be great playing over there with Tatum.
Oh God, yes, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
if Karl Anthony Towns went to the Boston, I'd say they're coming out of the East.
That's
you would
even
have
with
to
giving up Jaylen Brown, because they would have to.
Yeah. That
That,
deal.
that would
I
be.
don't-
That's the deal. They got to give up him or Smart. One of them.
I think so. I think so.
I think they get Robert Williams healthy, and if he can continue to go the way he's supposed to go, Boston gonna be all right.
But imagine having, but to your point earlier though, Reggie, imagine having Karl Anthony Towns to score and stretch the floor, and then Robert Williams, and all he has to do is the dirty work, bro.
Dude,
That's pretty massive.
man, I'm leaving that. I told y'all last year, leave that
I
thing
would do
alone.
I would do it for the simple fact of what we're talking about right now, blowing teams up. How long are we going to play the Jaylen Brown, Tatum tantrum? It was the same thing with Bill and John Wall. It was the same thing with C.J. McCollum and Dame Lillard. You got these people that are playing like almost close to similar positions on the same team. It don't work. You got to space it out. You got to have some spaced out on the floor, in my opinion. Now, we didn't talk about the Lakers.
We're talking about the number one team in the East right now.
We are.
Right.
100%.
So,
was they number one last year too?
Were they number one? They were 1, 2, or 3. They were in the top. Yeah, they were definitely in the top.
So I'm just saying, we can keep throwing them out there, and they can keep finishing. This is the point I was trying to tell my great friend. Y'all can keep finishing up there. If you don't win it, it's for naught.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Like, I don't care about it. So
I think they add some veteran presence that they needed. This came off the bench, some guard play. We'll see how that works for them. That's why I'm interested in them this year. You know,
now,
and then one of them got hurt. Who got hurt?
Gallinari got hurt.
Gallinari got hurt. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that was huge to me.
Well,
now if you talk about blowing it up, and I keep hearing people talk about the Lakers, what they should do, blow it up. Listen, the Lakers are just in a bad situation, and the bad situation is that you have LeBron James on your team. You don't blow nothing up when you got LeBron James. You just got to hope that they are healthy. If they get healthy, get a trade here and there, you're going to make a run. But you can't blow it up when you got LeBron unless he's part of the blow up.
well, to the Lakers' credit, I'm going to give them some credit that I have not given them in a long time. They're playing better. They're playing a lot better. They look better. They look like they understand their roles better.
Thomas Bryant.
Thomas
Bryant.
Yeah, Thomas Bryant. Man, some of them pieces look really good. I'm curious to see what happens when Anthony Davis comes back, and I'm also curious to see if there's any possibility for him to stay healthy longer than 10 minutes.
Here's the problem. You know what? I said everything positive about the Lakers, but the Lakers should be ashamed of themselves. The GM putting a team like that around LeBron. They should have did way better than what they've done with LeBron. That's my opinion. My opinion is there's no way he should have got that extension. What's y'all GM name?
Rob Pelinka.
Rob should not have got an extension. He should have not. Y'all have one of the greatest players that ever played the game on that squad. The best thing he's ever done. Okay, I'll give him AD. He had Magic to me was way better than what Rob is. That's just my opinion. Because now you let some of the championship pieces you let ride out the door, which were role players that does certain things, and then some of the players that you put around them this year, and then okay, whose fault is Westbrook? Is it Rob or is it LeBron?
It's LeBron.
It was LeBron.
Caught that shot. Yeah.
Well, that means
but to that same point, Russell Westbrook is no longer your problem.
He's not the problem.
He has done everything that you've asked him to do, and he's done it well. To the point where you can kind of put him in a conversation for 6th man of the year.
Well,
Like
now
he's doing it now.
and his trade value has went up now.
It's
When people
gone up.
were voting him
Right.
earlier with the draft picks. Rob said, "Nope, we'll reevaluate this thing in February after around the trade deadline." Well,
Right.
Nobody's
Westbrook
gonna
stock
touch
has
it.
went up
Nobody's going to touch it.
significantly.
Well,
Nobody's
maybe.
gonna
I don't
touch
know, Reggie.
Somebody will.
I'm
Somebody.
gonna tell you why.
Because-
Come on, man. I'm telling you, if I'm sitting here in the West and I know y'all need to dump him and y'all need something from me, I'm gonna ask for the whole city from LA from you guys.
Not
I'm gonna
necessarily.
ask for I'm gonna ask for y'all private jet. I'm gonna ask for the limo. I'm gonna ask for y'all won't get another draft pick to 2040.
Nah.
See, that's where I disagree because as you get closer
I
to the
tried to tell y'all
deadline,
once before.
well, hold on. I'm just saying this. I'm just gonna say this one part. As you get closer to the deadline, you also got to remember a generational player is coming up in this draft. So the one thing you don't want to do is tie yourself up in cap space with anybody on your roster. So if you're a young team like the Spurs or like the whoever, and you're just trying to dump salary, that's the perfect way to do it. You get $47 million off the books next year, and you are golden to build around this generational talent. So
And
that
the
is,
Spurs
from
not
a
doing
business
it, 'cause we have
makes a lot of
we
sense.
have
to go
cap
that.
space. We
Well,
have.
hold on, Ray. I'm not talking about y'all specifically. I'm talking about in general. If there is a team out there that's saying we are in this Wembanyama sweepstakes, so the only way we're gonna maybe be able to build something around this guy is we got to get rid of a lot of stuff, and the only way to do that is to clear out financial space. So it makes sense to do it. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what. Listen, Rob Pelinka's job rests on what he does in the next 2 months. I think so, man.
I'm
You got
telling
LeBron over there. That's just the problem to me. You got LeBron and Reggie. All due respect, Reggie. Let me tell you something about my team. Don't ever say that Magic did a better job. Magic did a good job. Don't say he did a better job because he is single-handedly the reason why we don't have Jason Tatum on our team and we had Lonzo Ball. So I don't ever talk to me about Magic Johnson. His dad, listen to me. He went up to Chino Hills and talked to this boy daddy, and they done worked something out. Magic did a good job. I still like what Rob has done, though. I don't have a problem with Rob has done.
Serious, Cam? You like what Rob has done?
I mean, he got them a championship.
Reggie,
Never championship, so you can't-
that's all I'm going to say, Reggie.
Yeah, you can't.
How many teams have not won the championship since the Lakers got that championship? We could play hit and miss all day, but we made the deals and we got a championship.
But I'll say this: Rob has done a better job because of the championship, but it ain't like a blowout. I'm talking about it's like what was the score of the Michigan TCU game? It was like 51-45.
Right.
That's probably where we are. Like,
I agree.
and by the way, if it wasn't for the LeBron factor that helped him get the championship, because technically it was Rob's watch that got them AD. Now, let's be clear, the groundwork was laid by Magic, but Rob finished it. So, I don't.
Well, let's be honest.
It does frustrate me
Let's
that
be honest.
everybody
Y'all won the
Magic
championship.
is
Y'all
killing
won
it.
the championship. I'm glad it was a 3-month championship because we don't know if AD would have handled the past 3 months.
That is also true.
I get it, Reggie. Y'all won 50 games a season.
Hey, man.
We'll take it.
I did not. Hey, we won 50. Y'all won 6. So
We'll
it's a difference.
take it.
It's 6.
We'll
All
take
right,
it. But
And I'm
once
not
again-
talking about the games. I'm talking about
once again, you talk about a winning franchise, Reggie. And in a winning franchise, when we used to win the championships, 10-year drought is a long time. We're gonna do whatever we can to get out that 10-year drought, bro.
well.
And they
I'm
did.
just saying.
They
I'm
did.
just saying you didn't level it out now. And if you don't win one another year or two, you don't have another draft pick.
It's not a year, Reggie. It's not another year or two, Reggie. Here's what we banking on, Reggie. We're gonna always bank on free agency, though. We always get our guy. You go across of it. We always get our guy. It is what it
I'm
is.
telling you. Listen, mark my word, Cam. This generation is different. This upcoming generation is different.
I understand.
I've told y'all this once. Mark what I said.
Hey,
This
Reggie,
generation is different.
question.
I'm telling you.
Lord, do you think we'd be having this conversation right now if the Lakers would have went on to make that move and got DeRozan?
Who watch was it on?
No.
Hold on. Hear me out. Do
No.
you think we'd be having this conversation? It was LeBron's idea to go get Westbrook and sell DeRozan. What I'm saying is, it was a bad move. We make that. Hold on. Once again, it's another guy, free agent, that wanted to be in LA. Westbrook wanted to be in LA. DeRozan wanted to be in LA. Look at Levine camp now. He wanted to be in LA. So I'm just saying, free agents still want to be there, Reggie.
He missed on that DeRozan thing for sure.
Okay, right. But okay, this is why I say it's Rob's fault. There's no way Rob, you got to take onus for that. Even though LeBron pushed you, but at the end of the day, you pushed the button. LeBron didn't push the button.
It's a players' league. It's a players' league. I promise you that.
You take risk, good or bad. You take risk.
It's a players' league.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to agree with Reggie on this. We all knew what Russell Westbrook is. Rob should have talked LeBron out of that. Like, bro, have you seen this nigga? I mean, I'm sorry. Like, real talk. What we talking about? Like this? Come on.
But here's the thing with Rob, though. Here's part of the reason why Rob, I feel like he's still there too. Because at the end of the day, if the Lakers don't win this year, LeBron ain't going nowhere. This is all clatter because he want to make a trade. You got some very interesting free agents next year. They can once again walk right over to LA, starting with Kyrie. It's a lot. It's a lot of them that can go right over there. And if they were to do that, not even factoring the AD thing, it could be a problem. So, I mean, it is what it is. You're going to have these years that you have, especially when you win a championship. When you win a championship and you put a team together like that around LeBron, you're going to have some years like that. It's an
interesting situation. The blow up thing is going to be interesting because I think as the year unfolds, you are going to see some teams sell out for Wembanyama. I think you are. He's too good. I don't know if y'all been watching the videos.
No.
Oh my God, that boy looks good. Like he can play. The only thing that you question is his size, but we question KD's size, and it hasn't seemed to affect him. So I think you're going to see some teams make some moves. So
are the Spurs starting over, Reggie?
Oh yeah, we did.
Well, they all in. They all in on Wembanyama.
Let me tell you who the player that you need to get and the Lakers need to get and everybody needs to be looking at. All these people can score 50, 60 points. They can do all that, all these fancy dunks and all that stuff. Look here, man. That boy in Utah, Lauren Marketing, he needs to be the hottest commodity out there. I'm just telling you. That's the thing out there right now.
He's balling.
But see, one of the things the thing about the Obama, not only is he one of the great players, the Spurs love European players.
Yes.
Facts.
You know why? You know why though? I figured it out. European players, for the most part, are low maintenance and high fundamentally sound. They get high reward. So you don't have to baby them. They ain't asking for go get a team around me. They ain't doing all that. They just go out and play.
Hey, they just turn around and give you 60, 20, and 10.
I'm just saying. So
easy.
All right. Guys, we're going to wrap up here. Question 5. We got one team left to decide the last playoff spot. Right now, the Packers are up 3-0 against Detroit. Who gets that last spot? And what do we think is going to happen? And by the way, it's Black Monday tomorrow. So traditionally, somebody's going to wake up with a pink slip.
I know who that's gonna be. Ooh, I know who that's gonna be.
Let's talk about it.
I know who Black Monday gonna be.
Okay, let's talk about it.
And he would be the next offensive coordinator for your New England Patriots.
Oh, you think he's getting the pink slip after 1 year? Who are you talking about?
This guy's in Arizona.
I forgot about that. That's a good call, Cam. That's a good call.
That's a good call.
That would bring their offense right back to relevancy too.
Because they paid a lot of money for that team that just went 4-12.
Yeah, then you paying that quarterback a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 4-13. I apologize. I didn't mean to insult them.
We're looking
for they paid a lot of money for the team that went 4-13.
I'm raising my hand. We're looking for a coach.
We don't want him, though, Rich. We don't want him.
No. I'm just saying, in general, we're looking.
You have a coach. You have a coach, Jeff Saturday.
No, we don't.
Yeah. He's a coach of the future.
Hey, I already called Sean. I heard Sean is making up a dream team. I said, Sean
Payton,
Yeah,
Harbaugh. It's an assistant coach with Pittsburgh.
Sean-
I ain't gonna say who. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'll take him.
But Sean ain't coming without y'all know who y'all quarterback is.
We know who our quarterback gonna be. We got our quarterback.
Who's y'all quarterback?
CJ Stroud.
Well, he ain't lying.
Yeah,
He ain't lying.
Hold on, let me see where y'all picking at. Let me see where y'all
Damn.
picking at first.
5.
Cam,
We picking
thank
at
you,
5
Cam.
right now. We picking at 5.
He
Only thing,
may be on to
the only
something.
thing
He
that
may-
needs to happen. The only thing that needs to happen is that the Seattle needs to make sure they work out that deal with Geno Smith. Outside of that, everybody else in the top 5 got a quarterback other than Houston. Seattle gets Denver pick. As long as they get that done.
Like Chicago's not picking.
The Bears get, they're not picking a quarterback.
Right.
Exactly. And then Arizona got their quarterback.
Hey, look,
Yeah, but Houston could pick him though.
Houston can pick who? It's two other quarterbacks rated higher than CJ Stroud. That's fine. They can get him.
But that don't mean they go pick them.
I'll take Young. That's fine.
Okay. So you okay with either one? You're fine.
Cam, like I told Chad, do not fall into what Lord is trying to tell you. Lord be trying to don't fall into it.
Hey, I'm hosting the show.
Hey,
I'm hosting the show.
I've been
tracking
warm,
this.
we like
I've been tracking this
catfish.
for the last 4
We
weeks.
like catfish.
Listen, I've been tracking this for the last 4 weeks.
he on it. He on it.
So Cliff Kingsbury as a casualty. I'll
Well,
say
I already-
this.
I
I'll
already
just
said
say go ahead, Reggie.
no, Denver has already had this casualty, and of course, Indy had their casualty. So,
Right.
I don't know who else would be a casualty.
I'll just say this. Some reports came out after the game that the Jets ownership was not happy with Robert Saleh.
They better not do that. That'd be the dumbest thing ever.
I'm just saying. And by the way, I can understand because he screwed this quarterback thing up royally. Like,
For sure.
Well,
because here's the reality, and we all know this. We all know this. When you don't get the quarterback right, you set your franchise back years. And so now you got them picking in the middle of the draft again. Now you're going to end up getting Will Levis. That ain't an answer because Will Levis is just Baker Mayfield 2.0. So, they could not be good for a little while. So, Robert Saleh, don't be surprised.
Hey, Lord, I said this first. Y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
If Dallas go out next weekend, they may sell out to get your boy Sean Payton because he used to be in Dallas.
If they go out next weekend, it's a done deal. I co-sign. I'm in that car.
I think Sean Payton is good with a quarterback. I think Sean Payton is good when he have a quarterback.
He is.
He don't have a
And
quarterback.
he'll get one.
We're going to Dallas. They don't have a quarterback.
Hold on. He'll get one.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Because the moment because the deal will be contingent. Let me tell you something that they're not talking about with this Denver deal. Nobody's saying it yet, but it's real. I promise you, it's real. Sean Payton will only take that Denver job if he can walk in there and say to the ownership, "Am I married to Russell Wilson?" Because if I'm married to him, I don't want it.
Wow.
But if you tell me, we want a winning franchise, no
You
problem.
don't think they work? Yeah, you don't think they can work together?
No, I think they can, and I think they will, and I think in the first year, possibly even the second year, they're going to work together. But if Sean Payton starts to see that Russell Wilson ain't what you thought he was anymore, and it ain't going to work,
man, we got to stop this. Russ is banged up this year. He had 2 procedures done on his shoulder.
I don't disagree with any of that. But I'm trying to tell you, sir, Sean Payton is holding all the cards, and everybody knows it. He already got the staff together, and everybody knows it. So I'm just saying, bro, if I'm Sean Payton, that's the first question I ask. How tied to Russell Wilson am I? If I'm completely tied to him, I don't know if this is the job I want. But
I
if
need
you
him
tell me,
to.
But see, they sold out.
I need him to ask how tied am I to Dak Prescott. That's what I need.
Oh,
him
he
to
ain't
ask.
tied Dak Prescott. at all.
But here's the problem with Denver, though. Here's another issue that Denver that was brought up. Denver gave all those draft picks to Seattle. Unless you're going to try to get a lot out of free agent, but they got a good young team. But do they have all the pieces that Sean needs? Because you're
But see,
not. Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but that's why I agree with you, because that's why the Russell Wilson question is so important. Because Russell Wilson, now this is what gets crazy, is just good enough to be tradable again.
I don't know. Do you think so?
Just good enough.
Somebody will take a.
That's what I'm saying. He's just, because think about it. If you're
Don't say
New
it.
Orleans, no, well, but I mean, y'all need a quarterback. But I was gonna say New Orleans, the Jets.
If Tom
You know
Brady
what I'm saying?
leaves,
that would kind of fix the Jets a little bit.
Would you take him to Indy? Cam?
Take who it is.
Russell.
In a heartbeat.
That's what I'm saying. He's just good enough.
so
But I'm
if
not
leaves,
trading. I'm not trading for Russ for the number one for that pick we got in the draft though.
Right. And that's what you would have. See, that's what I'm saying. You would have to give up a lot.
I'm not trading that pick. No.
Because you know what? I'll take that pick and I'll sign a decent veteran quarterback to work with him. Yeah. There's just going to be some veteran quarterbacks out there.
Yep.
All we need is one who can halfway move.
halfway move.
Well, with our offensive line, that ain't good this year. That wouldn't be good for nobody.
Right. Yeah.
Who I'm sorry, there's breaking or developing news.
Is this Geno Smith?
No, KRS1, Lord. Kevin Durant is out of tonight's game with a knee injury. He's scheduled to have an MRI tomorrow night.
Oops.
When did he get hurt?
He got hurt tonight.
Tonight's game, I think.
Yeah, tonight's game he got hurt. I'm sorry, it just popped up on my news feed, and I was reading it when you guys were talking. I'm like, uh-oh. So he's scheduled to have an MRI Monday night. So
What happened tonight?
or Monday morning, I guess. Huh?
What happened?
I don't know. I just saw it pop up in my news feed. So that's interesting. That's very interesting because they were rolling.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? And I'm not trying to speak bad, nothing on nobody, because like Reggie said, in 2023 we're gonna be positive. But he's had a knee injury. I want to say the last 3 years in January. He had one last January. Remember, right before the All-Star game. And I think he had one, and I think he's had one the year before, right before the All-Star game. So there's a weird pattern that has developed all of a sudden. But man, that's serious.
If it's the same knee, they don't stop hurting.
For those that talk to us about AD, just go pull up the last 4, 5 years, 6 years, see who played the most games, AD or KD.
It might be about even. Yeah.
I saw that stat before. That's very interesting. Somebody else put that stat on Twitter one time. I saw that.
Yeah. It might be about even. I think it's close to even. But I just that was just some developing news. We'll keep our eyes on it and see how it goes. But anyway, as far as the playoffs go, guys, this is what we have. It looks like it's going to be obviously Kansas City and Philadelphia secured the first round buys, although Philadelphia did not look good today at all. And anybody that says so, they didn't watch the game. They didn't really watch the game. But anyway, Buffalo took the 2 seed, Cincinnati the 3, Jacksonville the 4, and won the division. Chargers got the 5th, the Ravens the 6th, and Miami Dolphins snuck in there and got the 7th seed over New England.
So who Miami will play first?
So the wild card weekend will be Buffalo versus Miami, Cincinnati versus the Ravens, and Jacksonville versus the Chargers.
That Jacksonville Chargers game is going to be interesting.
That will be interesting.
Nobody in the AFC want to see Jacksonville. Nobody. They got nothing to play for.
Jacksonville's playing some good ball. They're playing some good ball right now.
Very good.
I am very curious to see what Lamar Jackson looks like with this much layoff. It's a lot of layoffs.
You
It's
just
like 30 days, bro.
Well, like you said, like Reggie said earlier, it could be good or bad.
Hey,
Like 30 days.
we just saw with Philadelphia today.
Yeah. His timing was way off. Way off. And now he's going to be off another week. Just saying. The matchups in the who made it? Well, let's talk about who made it first. Philly made the 1, San Francisco the 2, Minnesota the 3, Tampa Bay the 4, Dallas the 5, the Giants the 6, and we're waiting on the 7th. But it's either going to be Seattle or Green Bay.
San Francisco looks good, man.
So who would Giants have first?
We actually have Minnesota first, which is exactly why we rested everybody today. Perfect matchup. Could not have asked for a better matchup if we tried.
Yeah.
So and we're indoors, which is even also a good perfect, situation. So
I worry about that Dallas and Tampa Bay game.
Why? We gonna lose
Because you playing Tom Brady. That's why.
I said we gonna lose. I just
Oh,
said we gonna lose.
We gonna
yeah,
lose.
he said they're gonna lose.
Gonna lose.
Really?
We on the road. We on the road, and we playing a Tom Brady that's trying to find his way back. We gonna lose.
I'm gonna tell you this, Chad. I tried to defend Dak sometimes, but what he did today when he threw that out route and he almost got picked off the first time, then he turned around and threw the same out route again. I'm trying to figure it, and I take up from Dak sometimes. Cam, you take up for Dak sometimes too. We all do.
It's Dak and Kellen Moore, man. Kellen Moore called a stupid play twice, and then Dak ran the stupid play twice.
But Kellen Moore can't beat Dak's eyes.
Come on, man. Exactly.
But he can override the play. He should have that liberty to override the play, right?
He does, but he still got to see the play. He doesn't for some
He
reason.
doesn't see he can't read the defense.
That one in the end zone was just dumb. I was like, bruh, what were you looking at? I don't understand what you were looking at. Like, I don't know.
Same
And he
player?
throws in double coverage the whole game.
Say it again, Reggie.
I said, was that the same player that missed the interception and got it right back again? Was it another?
Yes. Yeah, no, it was the same guy. It was the same guy. I'm saying, right, he's throwing in the double coverages. What are you seeing? I don't understand what you're seeing. And if I'm Kellen Moore, that's the first question I ask him when we sit down and we got our Microsoft Surfaces. Bro, what are you seeing? I don't know what you're seeing.
He don't know what he's doing either. We just need to go ahead and get Sean Payton and let's go ahead and just clean slate it. Just go ahead.
Wow.
All right. Well, let's run through it quick. San Francisco and whoever lands in the 7th spot. Who you got? Seattle, Green Bay, probably doesn't matter.
I
Green Bay.
San Francisco.
Oh, if it's Green Bay, you going Green Bay over San Francisco?
Yes,
I don't care who San Francisco playing.
It's San Francisco.
hey man, Green Bay hot.
You believe in Green Bay like that?
Reggie got money on Green
I believe in
Bay.
Aaron Rodgers.
I feel you, dog. I'm San Francisco all day, every day right
I
now.
told people all the time, that's one team I'm scared to play. Is Green Bay. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Y'all got a rookie quarterback who's playing in his first playoff game.
Yeah, but I got a world-class defense who's not.
And they surround him with Debo and Christian McCaffrey. And
Yeah,
Kittle.
I'm on team 49ers. I'm not a gang on this.
I'll take it by myself.
Yeah, take it out by yourself, bro.
Yeah, no choice, Rick.
Minnesota Giants, who y'all got? I'm obvious. I think it's obvious where I'm going. So it doesn't matter.
I'm
No.
going
I
Giants.
don't know. That's a tough one. You don't know which Minnesota team you're gonna get.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna say this: we had all of our backups in the game today, and we gave Philadelphia all they could handle, and they had all their ones in.
I call it a tie. I'm gonna call the game a tie. Can we call the playoff game a tie?
Yeah, you actually cannot.
Oh, that's I don't know. That's I'll give it New York by 3, I guess. It's gonna be close.
I mean, that's what it was last time. It was who won by 3. Minnesota beat us by 3. So
Minnesota by 3 again.
okay, I appreciate it, Ray.
I'm being opposite of everybody today.
I
Minnesota.
see you. Tampa Bay, Dallas.
Tampa Bay.
I'm gonna go Dallas by 14.
Dallas by
I-
Dallas. Dallas by 3.
I was gonna say I see why you said Tampa Bay, Chad. I get it. I just can't believe that Dallas, because Tampa Bay is so bad. They are so bad.
But
And
it's
all
Tom
that,
Brady.
I just don't believe all that's gonna get fixed in a week. So,
Well, you don't think Dallas' problem is gonna get fixed in the
Dallas
weekend?
look bad too, though.
Dallas is so bad.
You don't think they got the same week? They got the
I
same
know,
week,
I know.
and
Right.
and Dallas is banged up, and you still
got
got Mike Evans and still got C.J. Godwin on the other.
You're right. I probably got to go with Tampa Bay. God dog it.
I'm
right.
gonna go. Even though my mind's saying Tampa, I'm gonna say Dallas by 3.
Dallas by 14.
Okay. All right. Over in the AFC, Bills and Dolphins. Probably Tua will be back. Probably.
Bills. He's gonna be in the same situation. He ain't played in a while. Bills.
I think I got news for y'all. I think the Bills are, brother, 200-yard kick returns in one game.
They're playing inspired football as well.
Exactly.
Sound like what you call it, Reggie? Momentum.
MO.
Big Mo.
Yeah.
And they got a lot to play for. So I think the Bills, I think that's gonna be a wrap.
I do too.
Yeah.
In the favor of Miami.
Ooh, okay.
They
have not. They've played them twice. They have not played good against Waddle and Hill. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. All right, Greg. Interesting pick there, sir. Bengals and Ravens.
Bengals. I don't want to play Bengals right now. I don't want to play Cincinnati right now.
I just don't think you can be off 30 days. As much as I love Lamar, and he's one of the most exciting players in the league, I just don't think you can be off 30 days and just come back and turn it back on like that.
Lord.
I could be wrong, but
listen,
I got to go back.
If Lamar was playing, I don't want to play Cincinnati right now.
No, Cincinnati's balling, but I would give them a shot if Lamar's there because Lamar is amazing. But I just don't think you can stay off that long and come back and everything just falls into place. I
agree.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals.
Joe Cool in the game. Yes.
Yeah. What you doing?
Hey, have y'all noticed?
I was saying Joe Cool in the game.
That old line is blocking. That old line is blocking.
They look good right now.
Defense,
Final game.
good quarterback. Defense, good quarterback, and they got a run game.
Yeah. Final game, Jacksonville and the Chargers.
Jacksonville. I don't want to play Jacksonville.
I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Justin Herbert is good. Just like Phillip Rivers was good.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm telling you, man, he reminds me so much of Phillip Rivers. He's 2.0. And I think Phillip Rivers was both sides. He would give you these games where you go, my God, that boy can slang that thing. He's amazing. The team is amazing. And then he give you another game, you're like, my God, what is he doing out there? I think what is he doing out there game? I'm going Jacksonville. Yeah, I'm going Jacksonville. Yeah. Now we don't have a lot of upsets, and in the last few years there have been upsets in the wild card round. So I'm just throwing that out there. Guys, any shout outs this week as we head into tomorrow?
Let's see. I'll shout out to you guys, man. Shout out you guys. Welcome back, Cam, man. Good to see you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Damar Hamlin and his recovery. Also the Bills and the Cincinnati organization and the NFL for handling that. Just glad to be back. Glad to be back with you, brothers, and talking to sports, man. So that's my shout outs right now.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Happy New Year to you, gents, man. Shout out to I'm a piggyback off of Chad to DeMar and the NFL and the first responders, and let's shout out to the fans and all the people part of this. Shout out to everybody coming together with prayer. So let's I think we all should pat each other on the back for that. So definitely.
I got a reversal shout out. Shout out for the Houston Texans for beating the Colts and securing the number 2 seed instead of the number 1 seed.
I don't get that at all. I'm sorry. I don't get that at all. That was weird. Like, I don't get it, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out
Real
to LeBron for LeBron is playing at a remarkable rate. What he's doing right now is just stupid. It scares me though, because this is where the body is not as good as you thought it was. Even though LeBron take care of his body, this is where those crazy injuries come, and it's like Achilles or something like that because you're overdoing it and you don't know. So, man, we got to get healthy real quick. We got to get some people in there real quick because he cannot keep playing these kind of minutes, even though he didn't play that a lot in Sacramento. But and then of course, shout out to the youngster for he's still alive. I don't care about football at that point. He's alive. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's at this point that's more important. Shout out to the NFL for getting it right, trying to get it right. Ain't rushing that, making those stupid decisions, whatever it may be. So shout out to them, man. And then of course, I hate to say it, you know what I mean, but shout out to the TCU Horned Frogs, man. Listen, that's what they just did for recruiting for the next 10 years, and with the 2 powerhouses leaving the Big 12, TCU can run the table in the Big 12 for the next 5-6 years, really, with the right recruits. So
that's true.
Shout out to them. They already got some people already hit the transfer portal too. They already got a couple of people from Alabama actually. So shout out to them, man. Shout out to the Horned Frogs.
Before you, Lord,
yeah, go ahead.
Can I give my apology? I was supposed to apologize. I forgot to apologize.
You do owe an apology. I forgot about that. You're right. I'm glad you're a man of integrity, man.
To the Tulane Greenway.
That's right.
To all of your fans, your coaches, your players, your supporters, your donors.
Fantastic.
Your boosters. Because I said you guys was gonna get routed by 50, and I wasn't gonna watch the game. So I truly apologize. And when I say something wrong, I'm a man of integrity to say, hey, I apologize. I was wrong. So
Reggie, did you bet on that game?
No, I didn't. I don't bet. Yeah.
I'm a piggyback on you. I didn't say it out loud like Reggie did, but I was thinking it. So I apologize. I apologize too, because I was thinking it. I definitely was thinking it. Shout out to Tulane, man. God, dog, that was amazing. That was an amazing game. My shout out is of course to the Hamlin family, and also the Higgins family, and then the entire NFL family and fans as a whole. This was a beautiful sentiment of how beautiful we can be as a world when we just put all of it aside. What I love most about the Damar Hamlin thing is we didn't pray for a black man. We didn't pray for a football player. We prayed for somebody who needed prayer. And that was cool. That was very, very cool. And if we can remember that societally, man, maybe we can do better societally. So that's my hope and my prayer. So shout out to all of us, for those of us who put aside every possible thing that we could have used excuse to not pray and just say, let's pray for this young man. So that's awesome. And then my last shout is, because I didn't get a chance to do it before we left, but I'll do it now. And this is the last birthday gift my wife gets. Shout out to Mama Noise for her birthday on December 30th. I have spoiled you beyond measure, and that's that. Pockets are empty. I got nothing left to give.
I got.
But she deserved every moment. So there you go.
Can I get one more shout out? Just pop
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
This is more for you, Reggie. This is what I'm reading from ESPN. Shout out to Geno Smith. He has officially set the Seattle Seahawks single season passing yard record.
Wow.
Russell Wilson. Wow. So they got that 3rd draft pick. Surely they signed Geno to a contract, which we had talked about that halfway through the season. So
wow.
As long as that happened, we'll be the second team in the draft to get a quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we just take? I know we got to go, but I got to shout out Geno Smith too for betting on himself.
Yeah.
And brother, sometimes when you push all the chips to the center of the table, that's all right, man. Shout out to that young man. So, all right. Listen, enjoy tomorrow night. We will actually have Talking Noise tomorrow, but only for an hour. It's an abbreviated show. It's a hit it and quit it. So we in, we out. You better get there early because in an hour we gone. We made an executive decision. We all gonna watch the championship game. So you got 6 or 7. We're gonna give y'all these hits, and that's it. So I'm making an announcement early, so y'all won't be saying we didn't tell you. So all right. But until then, man, I love the Brothers of the Fire. Happy New Year to everybody. And man, we'll see y'all next week, man.
Five will get you 10 when you're plugging in with the there's no mystery. Let's make history with the the song is 2 and 3. Add 1 more plus me and do the 5. Yeah, we keep it on the floor.